Let's review the answers to our practice quiz. So we're going to start off our quiz with 6 repeat questions from the previous quiz. And so these are our throwback questions, the ones most often missed from quiz number 5. So the first one reads, after living in a refrigerator box for a week, Luca, who regretted his choice to be a hippie, smelled terrible, and even his parents felt badly for him and welcomed him back like a prodigal son. Sorry for that weird pause. So I can see here, I'm really testing on whether it smelled terribly or smelled terrible. This is a linking verb, so I'm going to link to an adjective. So if he smelled terribly, it means he's really bad at smelling things. No, he smelled terrible as an adjective. Same thing here. You can't feel badly, otherwise you're really bad at feeling things. You just simply felt bad. So therefore, I want the adjective form of both of those. On number 2, Mrs. McCanna, whom we assume to be a U.S. citizen, was actually raised by wolves in the Himalayas up until the age of 18. We're going to use the word whom, because what happens is when I isolate this structure, which is whom we assume to be a U.S. citizen, the word whom is sitting right between assumed and to be. It's a direct object. We assumed whom to be a U.S. citizen. It's kind of like a pattern 10 to be exact. And so I want to use that word whom. And Mrs. McCann is very specific. So for that reason, I'm going to keep those commas there. That's why A is the right choice. On number 3, the cost of the college education at most average and commendable state schools is nothing compared to the cost of a college education at Swarthmore College or other so-called elite universities. Well, first off, universities does not have an apostrophe S on it, so that's just ridiculous. Nor do I want to say universities with the apostrophe after the end of it as well. And so I'm looking at both C and D. The difference is this is the cost of an education compared to Swarthmore as opposed to the cost of an education compared to that of or the cost of. And so I'm like, oh, I get it now. So I want to use this pronoun. It's a very common question on the SAT to replace it with a tricky little pronoun because the cost of up here in the B choice looks so tempting. It's that apostrophe which throws us off. I want to use this that of as a way of replacing that the pronoun. And once again, I don't have that weird apostrophe with universities. Number 4, last weekend, Abby nearly watched 3 hours of YouTube videos on dancing lessons in order to learn the floss in order to impress the elementary school kids that she babysits. Well, first off, she didn't nearly watch. She watched nearly 3 hours. So it's got to be either B or C. And we also learned if I open up with an adverbial objective, like a noun, and it's short, I don't put any commas after it. So B is my better choice. Number 5, apparently, the Hack US final is simply impossible because Mr. Shockey asks questions on only on TV sitcoms, theme songs, and commercial jingles. All right. So we talked about how there's never a comma near the word because, so therefore B and C are out. And apparently is one of those weird adverbs like apparently, ironically, luckily, which is making a comment about the whole sentence. It's not describing the verb, and it takes a comma. So 5A should be the answer. And lastly, number 6 on our throwback questions, we don't mind trying the cafeteria's new chicken phalanges, provided that the lunch ladies can explain what part of a chicken is the phalange exactly. Well, I tried to reinforce this on a practice quiz, and it still got a number of us. Remember, provided that it starts an adverb clause, but the only adverb clauses that take commas are the ones that have the word though in it. And so provided that never takes a comma. So I don't want to choose the B choice or the C choice. And then between A and D, D has this weird apostrophe with ladies. It's got to be A. All right, let's pause our video and restart. Because I was going to sneeze. All right, we'll restart another video with part 2. I sneeze